Do you love singing, but have felt that there is some strange barrier to entry that's preventing you from going out and experiencing this joy with other people? Have you felt like, man, I would really love to join that choir, but I don't know how to read music? Oh, I would love to sing in my church group, but, I just don't have that good of a voice. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's all good. It's okay. Everybody can sing. There are two things that every single human is able to do to express themselves musically. The first is drumming, and the second is singing. And I don't care how many times in your life someone has told you, oh, you can't sing, oh, you have a terrible voice, or whatever. First of all, we should be in the business of bringing people up, not putting them down. So anybody who's ever said, oh, man, your voice, wow, yikes, they can just go somewhere else and stop being so negative, and you just need to leave that toxicity out of your life, honestly. So if you love to sing, what I'd like to do in this video is to talk about a couple of just small things that you can do to make yourself confident enough to go join your church choir, go join an amateur community chorus, and just express yourself, because singing is one of those things that is so incredibly powerful and moving because everybody can do it, and everybody can do it as a community. Here are two tips that I think will help you to feel a little bit more comfortable with just going out into the world and singing. Okay, we've already talked about the first thing, but the first thing really is just cut the toxicity out of your life. If anybody has ever said to you, oh, you can't sing, just don't listen to them, because how do you get better at doing something? You do it. And if you like to do something, why not? Life is just too short to not do the things that you want to do. Okay? There are so many different levels of singing out there. Not everybody has to be at opera caliber or have to be like the most prestigious vocalist that has ever lived. That's just not, you don't need that. You just need to love doing it. And there are plenty of groups out there, whether it be a church choir or a community chorus or whatever. There are plenty of groups out there where you don't even have to audition. You just have to show up. And more often than not, people are just going to love having you there, because we really just like the community aspect of singing. So the first thing that you can do is just show up. And it seems so simple, but it's really the case. Of course, there are going to be some groups that require auditions and stuff, and maybe you're not ready for that kind of a thing. But if there's a group out there, maybe there's like a barbershop or something, barbershop group, Sweet Adeline's group, maybe something that you don't have to audition for, maybe like a local school is putting together something. Just show up and see what happens. So that's tip number one. Okay, tip number two. What if you don't know how to read music? Well, there are certain things that you can do to help yourself get better at that. Certainly, reading music is very helpful, especially when you're in an ensemble of multiple singers, but that's not always the case. You can say, hey, I don't know how to read music to the director. Can you help me out? And again, just like with tip number one, choir tends to be a positive place. So more than likely the director will say, hey, come on over to the piano, I'll play you these parts, and we can just learn them by ear like that. Or you can have a friend to help you out with that. So you can learn stuff by ear, by repetition, by memorization. Of course, it would be great to learn how to read music. So you have a few things that you can do. So in reading music, whether you're using treble clef or bass clef, in treble clef, in a 5-line staff, you have E, G, B, D, F as your lines, and you have F, A, C, E as your spaces. And for the bass clef, you have G, B, D, F, A for the lines, and A, C, E, G for the spaces. Now, you can learn all sorts of acronyms or fun little phrases to help you remember these lines and spaces. For bass clef, I like "good burritos don't fall apart" and "all cows eat grass." I like both of those. And for treble clef, I like "every grandma brings delicious food." And face is kind of like the gold standard for the spaces. You know, it's FACE. It spells face. But when you learn those lines and spaces, what does that actually tell you? Well, that means you can go to a piano or a guitar or whatever and say, oh, that's a G. Okay. Bam. There's my note. And then you can start associating what the note sounds like and what it looks like. And it's a long process, of course, to learn how to read music, but the more you do it, the better it will be. And anybody who says that, oh, you can't learn how to read music when you're an adult, you can only learn that as a kid, again, cut that toxicity out of your life, because anybody can learn how to do anything. Will it be more challenging if you're older? Of course it will. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. All right? So just go out and do it. Now, when you start looking at the different shapes of music, you'll notice that there are things that go up, there are things that go down. So start to associate the shapes of the lines. If a line is going up, that means you're going higher in your voice. So you can sort of anticipate that you're going to go higher. If it's going down, conversely, right? If you're going down, you're going lower in your voice. So you can learn to associate the direction of the different lines with the way that your voice is going to go higher or lower. And then you can sort out the accuracy bits later on. Or you can just listen to the people around you. Maybe there are other people in the choir who know how to read music a little bit better, and you can kind of latch on to them. You can treat them as kind of like your section leader. So yeah, there's that, again, the community helping each other out. So if one person's really strong, they'll kind of take everybody else under their wing and help them get stronger as well. Another thing for reading music is sometimes you'll see notes and sometimes you'll see rests. So when you see a note, you're going to be making a sound. And if you see a rest, it'll be the absence of you making a sound. There's different rhythmic things to consider. So you'll see it in music, you'll see maybe like a 4/4. What that means is that there's 4 beats to a measure. And so you can start practicing how to do that. Just count as steadily as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can just do this anywhere. You can just get really comfortable with that kind of metric thought process. If it's 3/4, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you just do that throughout the day. And then what you can also do is start to break those down further. You can say 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and you can break that down further. 1E and a 2E and a 3E. So you can do all sorts of things to help you learn the feeling of what it means to keep time. And so there's little tricks here and there. But basically, you don't need to know how to read music, but it helps. But if you don't know how to read music, there are certain tricks, right? Learning the shape of the line. It goes up, your voice goes higher. It goes down, your voice goes lower. If there's a rest, you don't make a sound. If there's a note, you do make a sound. When you do make a sound, listen to someone who is maybe strong. Key into them. See if you can match their note. And if you start to learn how to read the music, you can simply play it on a piano or whatever and match that sound. All right, I hope this was useful for you. It's sort of fun for me to it's a little off-the-cuff video. So I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you want to sing, just sing. Don't let anybody tell you that, oh, you can't do something. All right? There is no reason why you can't just go out and do the thing that you love. Okay? So I hope that that this will empower you to go out and find some group of people to make some music together, because everybody should be making music. It is just one of the most joyful things that you can do. And goodness knows, in our current world climate where everything seems to be falling apart on a daily basis, we just need something to give us joy. And for so many of us, that is the joy of music making. And so go out and sing with one another. If you like this video, please like and consider subscribing to the channel. I upload occasionally. So I hope you have a great day. Go and sing.